On average, people with college degrees earn $21,900 more than their counterparts who don't have degrees. People who hold a college degree report a higher rate of job satisfaction, 58% compared to only 50% of high school diploma holders. For people who didn't graduate from high school, the number is even lower than that. Only 30% of high school dropouts report job satisfaction. Hello, I'm Ridla Tankashala, and welcome to the Mayor's Youth Council Talk Show. On today's show, we're going to be talking to Lisa King and Peggy LaFleur. Welcome to both of you. So, why should students pursue a college education as opposed to getting a job straight out of high school?
It's a great question. In today's world, high school diploma is just not enough. 20 years ago, for your parents' generation, it might have been easy to find a job with a high school diploma or even less. But today, it really does require something beyond high school diploma for a post-secondary education, and looking really at first 1 year, 2 year, or 4 year program.
What is post-secondary education?
It's anything beyond that high school diploma, so looking at a 1 year certificate that you may be able to get a trade certificate with a certain career, right. Like a mechanic, cosmetology school. Also looking at your 2 year programs at maybe a community college or a junior college where you can get an associate's degree, and also your 4 year programs, which is maybe what you're more familiar with, the traditional bachelor's degree at a university or college.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Know How to Go Michigan webpage?
Yeah, absolutely. Know How to Go is a national campaign all about taking the steps to college, and here in Michigan, we're leading the Know How to Go Michigan.org part of that campaign, and it's really taking the steps that you need to take for college and breaking them down to make it a little bit more manageable. Right. So the first step is about letting everyone know that you want to go to college, so being a pain and saying, hey, I want to go to college. The second step is about pushing yourself and really taking the tough classes to make sure that you're academically prepared to get to college. The third one is all about finding the right fit. So there's a lot of options out there. We just talked about the 1 year, 2 year, 4 year programs. So really finding out what's the right path for you and the career that you want to have. And then the fourth is really putting your hands on some cash, because we know that it does take money to fulfill your college dreams.
Right. What should students start doing even in their freshman and sophomore years to start preparing for college?
You definitely just want to start thinking about what colleges you're interested in. So start creating some lists of which ones interest you and what maybe requirements they have. Thinking about the courses that you want to take in your 4 years of high school. So what's important to take freshman and sophomore year so that you can take the tougher classes by the end of your high school career, and that you're ready to get into whichever colleges you're looking at.
When should students start thinking about college?
Well, it's never too early, that's for sure. Even 7th and 8th grade, you can start telling everybody, again, that step one. Tell everyone that you want to go to college and that is your plan, and ask them how they can help you get there. So, young on, you can start thinking about ways that you can start saving and thinking about what challenging things you can, push yourself to do in 7th and 8th grade, so that when you walk into those high school doors, you're ready. Right.
Who should students talk to if they're interested in going to college?
Well, you want to find any adult in your life that has gone to college themselves and is your biggest cheerleader. So it may be a parent, it may not be, it might be a sibling or a cousin, it could be an aunt and uncle, it could be a religious leader, it could be a teacher or a counselor, maybe a coach. So really just thinking about who in your life has also navigated the path to college that can help you take those steps and really help guide you as you take your journey.
Okay. So which high school classes do you recommend will pay off the most?
Well, there's of course the core curriculum, but when you're looking at any colleges, they want to see 4 years of English, 3 years of the natural sciences, of your social sciences, and 3 years or more of math. So you want to really think about, if you're taking Algebra 2, that's a good predictor that you're going to succeed in college, and thinking about foreign languages as well, and biology, to show that you can take a tough class and excel at it, and show that you are able to push yourself while you're at high school. And those classes will show to colleges that you're ready for their college level courses and how tough they'll be as well.
Do you think it's better to get good grades in easy courses than get average grades in most difficult courses?
When you're applying to a college, they really want to see that you tried pushing yourself, so they want to see those tougher courses and that you were able to show growth over time and succeed. So even if you didn't get the straight A's, the fact that you were able to push yourself beyond what's just expected will really stand out with college admissions.
Okay. What if a student starts out high school with bad grades, but then they decide to go to college? What can a student do to say that they are college material?
Well, again, it's about showing that you can take some of the tough courses. So if you show improvement from freshman year to senior year, the colleges will really look at that and will see that you did try hard and you pushed yourself and made a test and said, okay, I want to start improving and didn't just take those easy courses and made sure to have the better grades.
So the SAT and ACT, should students take both of them or just one of them?
Well, that's one that's definitely, there's not a set answer for this one. In Michigan, there's the Michigan Merit Exam, so you'll be taking the ACT there. But again, looking at that college list that you've created for yourself, if a certain college or university wants to see an SAT score, then you should definitely go and take that test. And again, you might make that decision based on financially or just time, so you may not be able to do both. But it doesn't hurt the more you can take practices for them as well to see what types of scores you can get. And it all falls back onto which colleges you're really interested in and what they expect to see to be brought in.
Okay. Besides GPA and SAT and ACT, what other factors are important in getting into college?
They also will look at extracurricular activities. So if you are doing athletics, just different student government, or maybe theater, just to see different well-rounded ways that you help kind of push yourself and challenge yourself, and also again showing other courses beyond that core curriculum to show that you had interest beyond what's expected.
So Peggy, how should I choose the right school for me?
Well, people go about that in different ways. So I think each person has to kind of think about what is going to be a very appropriate process for them. For example, if you already have an idea of some careers, some majors that you're interested in studying, because we're thinking about careers rather than jobs. We're thinking long term. So let's say you have 3 or 4 different things in mind. Well, start looking for universities that have all of those, or if you can focus in on one, then that would be one way I would suggest, is that look for the institutions that have the particular major that you are most interested in. And then people start thinking about maybe distance from home. And they think about the size of the institution. Some people know that they are going to be more comfortable in a slightly smaller institution, maybe one that has less than 5,000 students or less than 10,000 students, because we know here in Michigan we have a variety, and we have probably the answer to that in regards to whatever somebody thinks they're going to be more comfortable. There's a tremendous difference between going to a community college campus versus going to the 4-year public campuses. And we have 3 major research institutions in the state of Michigan. So if somebody is interested, again, it just depends on what the area of interest is, and then cost. So we certainly encourage students to think about where they want to go, and then look at the cost, and then do a cost comparison.
That helps.
As you're planning. Oh yes.
What's the best way to use the internet to find more about colleges?
Best way to use it. One thing, don't be in a hurry, because there's a lot of information out there. There are a lot of very good sites. But for one, go to that particular institution's website. Many of them have virtual tours, and just a lot of information in regards to what they offer. So I would say take the time to, first of all, look up the institutions that have the academic majors that you're interested in, and then spend some time finding out what else they have to offer. And then please take the opportunity to get some campus tours.
Right, that's most important. When should I apply for college?
Well, typically you apply during your junior year. Many institutions have early decision processes, but I would say if you allow yourself that time to start applying in your junior year, then you have time to get those campus visits in to help you make a decision. So I'd say the application process is probably in the spring of the junior year, throughout the summer. But again, you have to take a look at what each individual institution's application deadline consists of, so that you can put that on your calendar.
Right. Just earlier, you were talking about college tours and campus tours. Why do you think they're so important?
Because the campuses are so very different, and we talk about the right fit. And sometimes you don't know that until you actually set foot on the campus. And because typically college students are the ones who will take you around on a tour. And that's important, and that's a good thing, because you need to talk to the people who live there and go to school there, and find out what is it like to live there during the week. What's it like on the weekends? What kind of other extracurricular activities does this particular person like? Ask that student why they decided to go to that particular campus. But they are very different. And sometimes some students aren't interested in walking half a mile to their next class. Others don't care.
Right.
Do you need a bicycle? I mean, what do you need? A car? I mean, what do you need? And what kind of surrounding community are you interested in? As well as, like I said, other kinds of activities, whether that's sports or theater, or other opportunities that a particular campus offers. So I think a campus tour is really important because you have the opportunity to talk to the students who actually experience it, live there. They are there. People to ask. Yeah.
What can I learn about visiting college campuses?
What can you learn? Okay. For example, what I mentioned in regards to what's it like to be there? What's that community like? And ask the students what it's like to go to class, because college classes are very different than high school classes. And I highly encourage students to ask if they can sit in on a college class when they take that campus tour. You'll find at institutions that are large, they're going to have lecture halls where there might be 200 students in it. And in your freshman year, you know, maybe that's too much for somebody.
Right.
And it is a lot. And smaller campuses with smaller class sizes might be a better fit for some people. So there are lots of different things like that that help someone find their comfort level when they go to a particular campus. So I encourage students to visit campuses of all different sizes.
Right. That helps. Do you need to decide on what major before you choose a college?
No, you don't have to.
No. Okay. We'll be taking a short break and we'll be right back to Mayor's Youth Council.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
In Michigan, visit knowhowtogomichigan.org.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Youth Council talk show. So we're talking to Peggy LaFleur, and college costs a lot. What do you think are the different ways a student can go about funding them?
Well, there are a variety of ways. And sometimes parents start when their children are very young and they start saving money. And there are a couple different programs here in Michigan, the Michigan Education Trust and the Michigan Education Savings Plans, that typically, as I said, parents will start those when their children are very young. However, it doesn't stop there. Certainly parents can set aside money in different ways. There are educational IRAs, there are various ways to do that. But if a student and family has not saved money when the student was very young, then when they need to think about applying for scholarships, and there's a couple different ways to do that. Certainly we have the free application for federal student aid is where all financial aid starts. That's the form that we encourage all students nationwide to fill out.
Right.
And that will let a student know what funding they are eligible for from the federal government, from the state government, the state where they are a resident, as well as the money that the particular colleges and universities have available for the students. So it all starts by filing the free application for federal student aid, or known as the FAFSA.
Oh, okay. What is financial aid?
Well, financial aid consists of scholarships, grants, loans, and work. Scholarships and grants are often considered gift aid because we don't have to pay them back typically. Now there are some programs that are designed so that if a student decides not to complete a particular academic major and the money was specifically for that academic major, it could turn into a loan. But again, if a student is going to be awarded those dollars from that particular program, they will also get that information so they will know what they're dealing with. And then student loans. And we know that's something that a lot of students don't want to take out, but yes, higher education is expensive. And most students in our nation take out some amount of student loans. And there are students who would like to work their way through college, and so that they don't have to take out as much money in loans. So there's a variety of ways to manage it, and yeah, you have to look at what it's going to cost to go to that particular institution. For example, if you decide you want to go out of the state of Michigan, you cannot take any Michigan dollars with you, and if you're not a resident of the state where you're going to go to school, you will not receive money from that state either. So that cuts out a chunk of money that a student could be eligible for. Federal dollars can go to any place in the nation. And again, the particular institution does have their own scholarships and grants programs, but maybe they're going to award those to residents of the state. So what it means is you need to make contact with the financial aid office and or the admissions office at a particular institution and ask those questions.
Right. What do students need to do when they're completing the FAFSA application?
The FAFSA cannot be filed until after January 1 of their senior year in high school.
Oh, okay.
And in Michigan, we ask that students file by March 1. Now, that's not an absolutely, okay, no money after March 1. However, we encourage people to file during that 2-month window because there is less money available through the state of Michigan. So we want students to be in the early pool of candidates to be considered for eligibility for money from the state. But that way the eligibility is considered from the federal government, the state government, and then again whatever particular scholarships and grants an institution has. And each institution has their own specific scholarships and grants. Their dollars are different from one to the next. So for example, if you applied to 5 different institutions and you received your award letters and they said, well, congratulations, you've been accepted and you are eligible for this much money in scholarships, this much in grants, this much in loans, this much in work study, they are going to be different, but that gives you the opportunity to compare from one to the other. And sometimes that makes the difference in terms of where you're going to go.
Can everyone complete the FAFSA form, or is it like the only very best student receive financial
Everyone
aid? Anyone can do
complete
it?
Yes.
Okay. What are scholarships and grants?
What are they?
Yes.
Well, it's money that a student could be eligible to receive. It could be based on financial need, and financial need is based on filing the FAFSA. Or a scholarship could be what we call a merit scholarship, means based on a talent or skill. It could be academically oriented. There are scholarships available online where students can go out and conduct a scholarship search on their own, and certainly talk to the guidance counselors because they are typically aware of scholarships that are specific to a local community. And they can help you gain access to the applications, complete those applications, make sure that you meet the deadlines, and if they request an essay, make sure that you write the essay.
Where can students search for scholarships, and what kind of scholarships are there for students?
That's a very broad question. Okay, one place is through the Michigan College Access Portal. Now that's a new web portal that our office has been working on, and we're the College Access and Outreach Unit with the Michigan Department of Education. And there is an opportunity on that particular web portal to conduct your college search and to also conduct a scholarship search relative to particularly to scholarships that are available to students who are residents of the state of Michigan. And as students, you can go out online and to fastweb.org. It's a well-known site. It's a reputable site. And we do say to students, if you're going to be applying for scholarships online, and they say, okay, you have to pay us, let's say, $25, you should not have to pay money to get money. So we tend to discourage applying for scholarships where they ask you to pay, and especially if they guarantee a scholarship. No one can guarantee a scholarship. You have to apply, you have to meet all the requirements. But anyway, those are just some red flags to keep in mind, but there are a lot of places where you can go out and conduct a scholarship search. So you're looking for private scholarship monies as well as state and federal government funded and the institutions.
All right. If students do apply for a loan, do they need to take it if they get the loan?
No, they do not have to take it. No.
Anything else you would like to add?
I think we'd just like to add that even though we mentioned it's never too early to start, it's also never too late to start. So if you're maybe a parent watching this program with your youth right now and you haven't taken that next step to continue learning, it's never too late. And then just make sure to check out knowhowtogomichigan.org and they'll give you some timelines and it'll really kind of go through everything that Peggy and I just talked about today to figure out what stage you're at in the planning process and what the next steps are that you need to take.
Right. Well, thank you to both of you. And I'm Rudla Tankashala, and thank you for watching the Mayor's Youth Council Talk Show.